Welcome to the undocumented world. Since the dawn of humanity, only 12 people have set foot on the moon, 8 have dived into the Mariana Trench, and just one person has been struck by high-energy particles in an accelerator and survived. This person is Anatoly Bug or Ski, who is 78 years old and lives in a scientific city south of Moscow. On the day the story took place, he was 39 years old, working on what was then the world's largest ion accelerator. Suddenly, he saw a flash brighter than 100 suns. The date was June 3, 1978. In the following 3 months, Bug or Ski would experience a personal Chernobyl. This is a true story, one of the most severe yet fortunate nuclear accidents in human history. If you try to visit an non-existent URL today, your browser will return error code 404. In 1978, there were at least 60 such 404 cities on our planet and marked on maps, untraceable in postal systems, and even invisible from satellite views. One such 404 city was hidden in a pine forest 100 kilometers south of Moscow. The best high-energy physicists, technicians, support staff, secret police, and KGB agents, along with their families, lived in this isolated city. This was because it housed the largest and most advanced eye on its time, known as the U-70. The secret city had a population of 40,000, was built in 1963, and the accelerator was operational by 1967, with the first experiments completed in 1968. However, the exact location of the city was not revealed until 1991, and Bogorski's story remained unknown until 1997. This area was once a World War II battlefield where both Soviet and German forces left countless remains, trenches, and shrapnel. The children of scientists often brought these fragments home, and the U-70 accelerator actually passed through these remnants underground. Ion accelerators are undoubtedly the most complex machines designed and built by humans. The current largest ion accelerator, the Large Hadron Collider LHC at CERN, was completed in 2009. It spans France and Switzerland, buried 175 meters underground, forming a 27-kilometer ring. It can accelerate to particle beams to 9,999% of the speed of light and collide them, producing new particles and even a microscopic black hole. Its core components include trillions of superconducting wires, each with a diameter of 0.7 millimeters, about 1% the thickness of a human hair. If these wires were laid end to end, they could make 6 round trips between Earth and the Sun, with enough left over for 150 round trips to the Moon. It is also the world's largest refrigerator, requiring 120 tons of liquid nitrogen to keep the coils at 270 C, and simultaneously the world's largest furnace with temperatures during collisions exceeding the center of the Sun by 100,000 times. It can accelerate a particle beam to 3.5 trillion electron volts. Although the specific parameters of the U-70 accelerator are still unclear, it was capable of accelerating a particle beam to 76 billion electron volts, reaching 99.993% of the speed of light. The U-70 had a circumference of 1.5 kilometers. Each cooling cycle took a month, and warming up after shutdown took another month. After its first operation in 1967, it took a year to complete, so the accelerator was never shut down. Thus, 10 years after its operation, Bug or Ski's incident occurred. On that day, the U-70 was running several tests when the monitoring system alerted to a fault in the beam channel, requiring manual inspection. Bug or Ski called the control room from the duty station, informing them that he would reach the fault location in 5 minutes and asked them to divert the beam. The control room acknowledged. Bug or Ski followed the standard procedure, a route he had taken hundreds of times, through the corridor, down the stairs to the underground hall, and through the concrete maze to the faulty synchrotron. He waited for the warning lights on the isolation door to turn off and the lock to open, then entered to inspect the fault. The synchrotron was not a vacuum, and the beam merely passed through, so Bug or Ski did not need additional protective gear. He didn't even wear a helmet and arrived at the synchrotron in less than 5 minutes. At this point, the control room had not diverted the beam. Formally, the isolation door should have been locked and the warning light on. However, due to a control program error, the system incorrectly assumed no high-energy particles were present, so the electromagnetic lock did not engage. Additionally, the warning light, controlled by a redundant system, had just burned out. When Bug or Ski arrived, he saw no warning light and the door was unlocked. Assuming the beam had been diverted, he entered. As he bent down to inspect the fault, he saw a flash brighter than 100 suns. It was later confirmed that a high-energy particle with 70 billion electron volts and traveling at 99.9% of the speed of light struck his head. The radiation dose at the entry point was 200,000 rads, and after scattering in his brain, it reached 300,000 rads at the exit, equivalent to 10 million millisieverts. We previously shared that the radiation dose that turned Louis Slotin into a human torch was only 2 to 3 million millisieverts, and the dose that killed Harry de Gagelion was 1 million millisieverts. In that instant, Bug or Ski received at least 30 million millisieverts. Here is a WHO radiation dose comparison chart. A dose of 1 million millisieverts is already lethal. Bug or Ski, a graduate of the National Research Nuclear University, knew this well. Although he felt no pain, the high-energy particles and massive radiation dose had attacked his brain, leading to acute radiation sickness. His fate seemed similar to Dag Leon on Slotin, with DNA fragmentation throughout his body, and he would watch his body die. Bug or Ski calmly finished his inspection, closed the door, and returned to the duty station without mentioning the incident. He recorded the event in the log and continued working and living normally, waiting for death. The next day, a colleague noticed something was wrong. Bug or Ski's left face was swollen, and there was a burn mark near his nose with a patch of hair missing from the back of his head. Colleagues took him to the infirmary, where Bug or Ski recounted the high-energy particle strike. Everyone was shocked. The doctor examined him unnoted in the medical record. High-energy particle trajectory to extreme, entering the head, occipital bone, left temporal lobe, mid-basal region, left temporal lobe pyramid, tympanic cavity, left nostril. Entry dose 200,000 rads, exit dose 300,000 rads. Bug or Ski was urgently transferred to Moscow, to a specialized hospital for radiation sickness, the 6th hospital of the 3rd Directorate of the Soviet Ministry of Health. His attending physician was Angelina Gushcha, one of the world's top radiological medicine experts. She had treated victims of the 1957 KYSTYM nuclear waste explosion, the 1961 K-19 nuclear submarine accident, and was the chief medical officer during the 1986 Chernobyl disaster. Gushcha examined Bug or Ski's perforated occipital bone and exposed brain tissue, then admitted him to the ICU. No one had ever left this ICU alive. It was more a laboratory for studying radiation effects. Gushcha requested a long list of equipment and medications, mobilizing national resources. Though the value of the list exceeded millions of dollars, Gushcha proceeded with the treatment. Gushcha believed Bug or Ski had inadvertently undergone proton therapy, an advanced cancer treatment being tested in the West. Proton therapy works by high-energy particles releasing energy at the Bragg peak, a point where all the energy is released. The Bragg peak's position depends on the particle and the material properties. Scientists can use ion accelerators to target cancer cells, releasing the Bragg peak precisely to destroy the cancer cell's DNA. Gushcha thought the high-energy particle traversed Bug or Ski's brain without releasing the Bragg peak. The flash Bug or Ski saw was a visual hallucination, similar to those experienced by cosmonauts passing through the Earth's radiation belts. In typical radiation cases, patients receive prolonged exposure, causing DNA damage. Radiation is essentially energetic particles that bombard DNA, which is essential for cell replication. Small doses can be repaired, but large doses, like the 30 million millisieverts Bug or Ski received, usually cause fatal DNA damage. Gushcha hypothesized that, due to the extremely short exposure time, the radiation only affected a narrow line of brain cells, which were replaced by other neurons. Bug-Orski's vision, hearing, and intellect remained intact, supporting this theory. Over the next month, Bug-Orski developed symptoms of radiation poisoning, facial swelling, cell necrosis, and tissue loss. He lost hearing in his left ear but remained conscious, experiencing frequent vomiting. Other cases, like Slotin and Dagachlion, survived for days or weeks, but Bug-Orski's dose was hundreds of times higher. Miraculously, by the third month, Bug-Orski recovered. A photo taken then showed he had lost hearing in his left ear, had left-side facial paralysis, and occasional seizures, but otherwise his intelligence, emotions, and judgment were unaffected. No one could explain the medical miracle, and some speculated that Gushcha and her team had found a way to treat radiation sickness. 18 months later, Bug-Orski returned to work, eventually earning a PhD. His left face was expressionless, and decades later it appeared to be frozen. Some attributed this to the paralysis, while others noted that other paralytic patients did not show such pronounced effects. Due to Soviet secrecy, Bug-Orski did not disclose his accident or treatment details for 19 years, until a 1997 interview with Wired magazine. At 55, he lived modestly, bearing significant medical costs. Western scientists wanted to study his case, but he declined. Now 78, he still lives in Prativio, robust and active. Bug-Orski credits his survival to exercise, having been a top athlete in basketball and football. Even after the accident, he cycled in Moscow's winter. He felt he was being tested, and so was human resilience. In 1942, as an infant, he was thrown into the snow by German soldiers but survived. At 39, he faced another test and survived. He believes he and humanity are continually being tested. Thank you for listening to this story.